Dude, that ending, that fucking ending to that book. First it was Clash of Kings, then it was Golden Sun, and now it's the Warrior Prophet. Why is it that every middle book, not even middle book, just middle entry, always have to end with some like big climactic reveal? Right? Like they always say, oh, well, what about middle book syndrome, middle syndrome? There's the sophomore slump. Why? But yes, with that little preamble over, I just finished up reading The Warrior Prophet, and I just got to get my thoughts out. But oh my god, I don't want to say what the ending is, but it is. I'll just say this: the main character in this is kind of like an evil Jesus, I guess you could say, and the ending kind of proves that. You know, Baker has a lot of influences from like Lord of the Rings and the Crusades and Dune, and in the previous book and even in most of this book, you can kind of tell that Kellis is like an allegory for Paul Atreides, but a much more evil version, and with a little bit of hints of Jesus in there. But here it's like he just sheds all that Paul Atreides crap away and just leans full on into evil Jesus. But yeah, this book is bleak. Like, the first book was not as bleak as this one, but my god, the first book is super like philosophical and it's very deep. It kind of takes a back seat, and the plot kind of takes a back seat, but here the plot takes the forefront and the characters take the forefront as well. And sorry, I'm burping. I'm having coffee. But yeah, this was, I will say one thing I got to appreciate about this is that the writing style got more digestible, I guess you could say, while also staying super duper gritty and super duper like hard, like I guess you could say hard to read, except for the ending. Up until the epilogue / chapter 25, this was some much more digestible writing, and the character work in this, and in the first book you can kind of tell this isn't going to be like a character journey. It's not going to be a Abercrombie, it's not going to be Stormlight, it's not going to be Stephen King, it's going to be a philosophy series, and there's a little bit more emphasis on that. And you know, it's done very well. Like, even in the first book, I thought Esminette was a great character, even though she's like mid-tier when it comes to characterization. Here it's like she's getting better, and Acamian, Nair, Xeris, and Kellis, like, these are starting to form their own, you know, deeper characterizations. It's not going to be like crazy deep like Hobb or Abercrombie or Stephen King, but it's getting there. And I gotta say this, the way that he wrote this, I feel like he had read Malazan before this, because the way that this is written is like one section from one and then another section from another person, and you'll never get one from the same person. You'll never get it back to back. It's just boom, 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 and it's cut like that a lot. And all the people that are like, oh, Malazan is so hard to read, Malazan this, Malazan that, if I can comprehend this style of writing, this shouldn't be a big deal. This style of writing should not be that big of a deal. What else? The battle scenes, and I also want to say the plot in this. The plot feels like it's split into 3 parts, and each part is basically one march of this holy war that was set up in the last book, and each plot takes place over a few, I guess you could say, months. Every now and then he'll jump a few months ahead and he'll say late winter this date, blah blah blah, and he'll have all of these deep philosophy, and by the end you'll have this amazing battle scene that's still, it's not like amazing, it's not like, blow your minds out amazing, but it's still very, very well done. It's not like a textbook, which in the last book I felt like it was a textbook, or kind of like the Dune movies. Like, not like you're just seeing it, but it almost feels like you're watching it or reading it, sorry. It very much feels like you're getting more immersed, but also still like disconnected. And that's something Pierce Brown does, but much, much better. You know, when you're in that POV, you are at war. But here it's like you're at war, but you're experiencing someone who's at war. You know, stuff like that. It's amazing. The ending is haunting. Very, very haunting. Like, I mentioned the Red Wedding and the end of Golden Sun, which I thought those two were shocking. This one's even more so. And I will not spoil, because I don't want to ruin this for you, but please read it. Please. Get a fucking Discworld book afterwards, because this isn't going to be a lot for just a normal reader, but for someone like me who reads a lot of this darker literature, even this was a lot. And there's a lot more character deaths in this than I was expecting. It's just there, and I guess that's a spoiler, but there's a character death in this, I think around the 80% mark, and it's a pretty big one. And there's also a fake out, and there's a whole subplot line about trying to rescue this character who was faked out of dying. And yeah, all those plot lines were great, and the philosophy is just as deep as the last one, if not deeper. But yeah, this was an amazing read. Like, probably better, yeah, I'll say better than the last one, and probably the best book I've read this year. Maybe. It's only August, but who knows. But yeah, that was my review. This is a 10 out of 10, 5-star S+. Please read this. And for my next read, it's Discworld and Lies of Locke Lamora. This was an amazing read, and it's deep. It's bloody deep. Like, it's a lot to take in. Like, the world building is also a lot to take in as well. But I just need something simple. So I'll see you later.